Hey everybody, welcome back. My family is pressuring me to give my sister my wedding venue because she needs it more and is pregnant. My fiance and I have been together for 8 years and engaged for 3. I was doing my PhD program and was juggling planning the wedding. My fiance took much of that work, but it was perfect because our dream venue was booked until after my graduation. So what we did is we booked our dream venue 3 years in advance. It really is a beautiful venue. The only slot we got was September of this year. My sister got engaged a few months ago to her fiance.
Close to my engagement there, Tuna. What's your game here?
They were planning on having a spring wedding next year. They had no venue lined up, but had a few vendors lined up as well as a set date. How can one have a set date if you don't have a venue? You can't really. Yesterday, our parents invited us and our significant others to a family barbecue, where my sister announced to our extended family that she is expecting. Everyone was so happy for her and my brother-in-law, who is a great guy. My nan asked my sister if the wedding was still on the set date or if they were going to wait because of the baby. She said no, that she hoped that she could move it to September. Interesting. No big deal. We didn't have many out-of-town guests, so they could attend both weddings, no problem. Nan was happy and asked sister if she needed help planning such a short notice wedding. My sister then turns around and said, "That's what I really wanted to talk to you about. I was really hoping that we could kind of like take your venue." Absolutely not! No! Sorry, I was just really hoping that like we could take your venue. Not a big deal to you, right? You haven't just like been waiting for this for like years. The audacity! She said, "I really cannot stress myself too much with planning a wedding while going to maternity classes."
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Okay, then wait to get married. She also said, "I think it's so beautiful. It would really mean a lot to me." I'm sure it would. It went silent, but everyone was looking at me expecting to say, "Yes, of course, everything for my little sister."
You wish.
My brother-in-law looked very uncomfortable and told her that they had talked about this and it was not okay to put me on the spot. Yeah, she did it in front of your entire family. Ugh. That puts you in a position that you feel like you can't say no, but you also shouldn't. You shouldn't say yes. You should not. But my sister just said, "Don't be like that. My sister wants to do what's best for me, so it's no big deal, right?" Okay, so but she doesn't want to do what's best for you? I just said, "Well, it kind of is. I don't know. I have my heart set on that venue." Right, because you planned it 3 years in advance and waited. Cue the crying. Ugh, brother. I know you said that she's like 23, but like this is typical childish behavior. She obviously learned that when she was a child that she could cry and get anything she wanted, and that's what she's doing. She stormed off. Nan told me I was being selfish because she needed the venue more than I did. Why? Is her wedding more important than yours? Is that what we're getting at?
Thank you!
I tried to defend myself and my mother said, "You waited 3 years. Would it have killed you to wait a few more months?" Well, clearly if you waited 3 years, then it's probably gonna take a lot longer for you to book it again. When has your sister ever asked for something? Something tells me this isn't the first time she's asked for something, okay? A few comments later, my fiance got really mad and we left. My sister called me crying and said it was unfair that I always get what I want and that I could have done this one thing for her. Okay, but this is like a really big thing to ask. You shouldn't even be asking. Find a different venue or wait to get married. Dad said it is just a venue and what matters is the person you are marrying.
Pathetic.
He is kind of right, but we've been planning for so long. If it's just a venue, then why does it matter if she gets the venue? My fiance is furious with my family and doesn't even want my sister to come. Now my family's threatening to not come because I'm being selfish and my sister needs it more than me because having a baby is too stressful. So get pregnant.
No. He's got a point.
My brother-in-law called me and apologized for the inconvenience. He told me he'd discussed it with my sister and she told him she would not ask. He's properly mad with her now and warned me that my sister's blaming me for potentially ruining her marriage. Why? Because you wouldn't give her what she wanted when she threw a temper tantrum? My father has sent me about 5 texts along the lines of, "I hope you're happy your sister hasn't stopped crying since yesterday," and so on and so on. It kind of sounds like your parents just sort of gave her whatever she wanted growing up just to avoid her being sad. This is like classic victim mentality. My fiance and I have decided to boot my sister from the bridal party and replace her with my aunt, who is the only family member that took my side. We've not decided whether or not we will invite my family as a whole. Furthermore, my mom took it upon her to tell us. She called fiance's parents and told them that it would be best if my sister gets it because she's pregnant and preeclampsia runs in the family. Whatever that means.
Who cares?
Oh, the guilt tripping. The guilt tripping is strong with these ones. My future father-in-law told them to f off. Yes! Like literally f right off. And basically ripped my mom a new one for expecting something so ridiculous and that they were gonna lose me if they kept playing favorites. So my mom is now crying too and said that my father-in-law is an wow, okay, like mother like daughter. This is just getting so pathetic. It seems straight out of a bad soap opera. My in-laws are driving to us currently with some supper and wine and basically told me not to worry about it and that no matter what happens, they will be my safety net. I cried of happiness. Well, thank God you're not the only one that feels this way, you know? Like, it's always nice to be supported whenever there's a little family feud. Families do know how to guilt trip you into doing things that you really don't want to do. Update. My sister saw this story while browsing on her Reddit account. She lost her mind. She accused me of painting her like a loony and misinterpreting facts. My sister got wind of the situation due to various media outlets and went on Reddit. Yeah, because it's actually that ridiculous. It doesn't surprise me that it went viral because she's being so unreasonable. She said I was being unfair. I'm sorry, but if you don't want to sound like an on the internet, don't be an that she is family and she asked it nicely because she loves me. She shouldn't have even asked. That question should not have even entered her mind because she is inadvertently saying that her wedding is more important than your wedding. She also underlines the fact that the opinion of internet strangers doesn't count because family's more important and I should focus on making my family happy. Classic guilt-tripping family tactic. Okay, so then I pose that question to her then. Why is it that she doesn't consider her family more important and she doesn't consider her sister's happiness important? And why is she asking you to take your wedding venue? To which OP responds, I am sorry that you perceived it that way. I did not in any manner distort what happened. As you might notice, I didn't describe your tone nor exaggerated anything. Yeah, she didn't even really give too much more context. Like there isn't much more to say other than that. You stated a fact. Your sister wanted your wedding venue. Perhaps you have that night different in your mind than I do, but I digress. I am sick and tired of bending to your will. My whole life, I've been your servant and your doormat. Remember all the birthdays I had to share with you because you would throw a tantrum because you didn't get presents.
I don't care how big they are!
Oh gosh, one of these, eh? Or when you cried so that I would fill out job applications for you. But the thing that has hurt me now is when you ruined my graduation. I am done. Oh, she ruined the graduation, eh? I actually have that story.
Bring it on!
This wasn't too long ago, so I remember it quite well. It was the day I delivered my thesis and presented it. A German tradition is that once you complete your PhD, you get one of those black graduation caps that have pictures, memes, and little toys that describe you best glued on them. So I got that I absolutely love. One of the things glued on my cap were gummy worms because I would eat them constantly. We booked a little hall in the university to celebrate. My fiance and friends decorated it, provided coffee, snacks, drinks, etc. Also, my fiance handcrafted a beautiful cake. One of those that have self-made marshmallow fondant and a color gradient that went from yellow to pink. A very beautiful cake. So eventually, after snacking, talking, and dancing a bit, it was time for the speeches. My friends and my boss said how proud they were. Then came my fiance. He talked about all my accomplishments in my life up to this point. My sister absolutely lost it. I mean, she screamed and cried like I had killed her cat.
Ma'am, I need you to calm down.
Why does it bother you that your sister did something that she should be proud of? My mom was giving my boyfriend signs to stop his speech and went running toward my sister. Oh, brother. Gave me a frickin' break. My father was already kneeling beside her, calming her down. Oh my gosh, this is so inappropriate and stupid. What a spectacle. Everyone was kind of lost at this point. My mom came up to me and asked me to do a little speech mentioning the accomplishments of my sister and all that. Give me a break. Give me a big fat Kit Kat break. You can't be serious. I was asked why. My mom told me about her being rejected from her master's program and that was the reason for her breakdown. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Like, I'm literally not sorry. I suppose I looked annoyed because my mom snapped and said, you know what, forget it. Right, because that was a celebration for you and not your sister. She then told my dad, who managed to calm my sister down and take her home. My dad took her by the arm and they started to walk out. And holy hell, as my sister noticed the cake, she lost it again. Crying like a maniac, she smashed my frickin' cake.
Bro.
Your parents are totally enabling this behavior too. Everyone went silent. My dad dragged my sister out without so much as apologizing. My mom just muttered, my poor baby. Oh, give me a break. Give me a big fat Kit Kat bar, bro. Then I started crying. My friends and fiance went to cheer me up, but my mom was texting dad to see if my sister was all right. She followed me to the bathroom and reprimanded me for not acting when I saw my sister crying. I want to reprimand your mom for raising a monster. I told her I was hurt by that scene. My mom just said I had to understand my little sister because it was a hard time for her and that she didn't have a fancy graduation like me. I mean, and don't pander to people that don't put the effort in. If she wanted a celebration of her achievements, then she needed to achieve something. I'm such a right now. I hate this so much. Then she left. We tried to keep the celebration, but it was not really possible. We went home early, and when I looked for my cap, I found the gummy worm packet that was glued to it had been ripped out. I found out it was my sister's doing because she was craving gummy worms. Well, clearly what your sister wants, your sister gets. Everyone must bend to her will. All right, so now that you have that context, you probably realize that this is a problem that has persisted since childhood. How do you even deal with a sibling like this? Like, how do you deal? Because clearly she's used to getting everything that she wants. So back to the story. I am done. I admit that I also spoiled you, but I won't any longer. If you want to marry so bad before your baby is born, then you can look at Hotel X that offers last-minute weddings. I've spent too much time planning my wedding to gift it to you. And if you want to ruin our relationship over this, then go ahead. I will sleep sound and safe knowing it wasn't my fault. She only sent me a, wow, you must love me so very much. Ditto. She then blocked me and unblocked me this morning to send me this. Wedding planner, hello dear, I got your message from your mother and will proceed with the rebooking of the venue on the spot. However, this will have extra costs as we have to change the names on the contract. Please come by my office so we can sign the new contract. Sister, that's great. I'll be there at 9. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if she can do that so easily. Don't they need to contact you? I don't know, that sounds fishy to me. You can't just like change somebody else's contract. Fast forward to the wedding. We sat together and put passwords with the majority of our vendors and also with the venue directly. We didn't talk to our planner yet, which is why the text message of my sister worries me so much. Also, we canceled the catering that my parents paid for. Probably a good idea. Short term, we won't be able to get a full catering like we wanted to. All our friends and my fiance's family will help us prepare a buffet and everyone is going to chip in. That will be our bachelor party, as we will have to spend more on our food now that we canceled our bachelor parties, and we'll have a family and friends cooking session. I love how everybody's coming together. You know what I mean? It's so nice to have support. I'm glad that you have some support, babes. Thank you again for helping me see how toxic my family is. I will try to sort it out. If they apologize from the bottom of their heart, they will be allowed into my wedding, but if not, I doubt it, honestly. Then, well, I still have my brother, who will be walking me down the aisle, and my aunt. We called my planner and she was actually very horrified. She told me she never as much as talked to my mother since the day we went to book the venue. Okay, so your sister is essentially just created that out of thin air just to piss you off. Wow, what a child. She assured me even if they were to call and say that I wanted it, I had to be present to make any changes. So we informed everyone that will work for us on our wedding, and they offered to hire security for that day at a reduced price. And I have one final update for you that's very, very satisfying. Finally, I get around to writing an update. After I last spoke to my parents, they did not let go of their position. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I was the bad guy and I was responsible for my sister's depression and her failing relationship. I really hate it when people weaponize like mental health. It drives me absolutely insane. Not to diminish mental health problems, but you can't just say that you have mental health problems to get people to do whatever you want. Like, that's not fair. It went so far that I had to block them and change my number as they were contacting me from relatives' phones and so on. It was a real bummer, especially during a time that should be so special. I was harassed by my sister and her entourage on Facebook and Instagram, so I simply deleted it. All of this because you didn't want to give up the wedding venue that you were smart enough to book 3 years in advance.
Yes.
I fail to see how anyone is on her side. Like, I don't get it. It was a mentally draining time, but my husband's family and friends and my brother helped me get through it. I had basically cut off every family member that had given me crap for keeping my wedding date. My nan came to my door a few days before the wedding, begging to let her come. I had a long talk with her and she ended up apologizing, even though she still failed to see the logic in switching weddings. But she didn't want to pressure me and wanted to be there for me. We hugged it out, but our relationship is not back to normal yet. This is the thing, like, you can have family feuds, but at the end of the day, you are still family. And like, you don't have to see eye to eye on everything, but you got to be able to put those things aside for important family things like weddings, like engagements, babies. The day of the wedding. The morning was really really good and relaxing. My bridesmaids and I got ready. We drank Prosecco, made pictures. My dress fit perfectly and I looked just gorgeous. Yes, bestie, I'm happy for you. But then came time to leave for the ceremony. We were at the venue making before pictures with my friends when I saw the little car of my sister approaching the venue. What? What the hell is she doing there? Admittedly, I was shitting my pants, or well, my dress. One of my friends ran to the venue to get one of the security people that we hired. I didn't want another Hulk smash moment at my wedding.
Smash.
She'd been angry and crying, and as soon as she saw me, she started screaming obscenities. What a psycho! Seriously, call the frickin' police! Apparently, I am a filthy that made her fiance break up with her. No, babes, you did that all on your own. Sorry, that's very satisfying. So bad. She was like possessed, and at that moment, I couldn't but feel pity for her. A thing to explain is that in the mornings, the plants are always watered at the venue by some of these sprinkler systems. Thus, the earth was a bit muddy. The next thing that happened really fast, my sister bent down to take mud and was getting ready to throw it at me in my dress when my maid of honor sprinted toward her and pushed her so that she fell with her butt into the flowers. Dude. Police, like literally police. The security officer arrived seconds later and removed her, and with that, I had enough ammunition to file for a restraining order against her. Thank the Lord. What a psycho. I didn't even want to file a police report at this point. I just wanted her to stay away from me. The rest of the day was just amazing. I married my best friend, the love of my life, and just my rock. My brother walked me down the aisle. We all cried at the vows. It was spectacular. Of course, I miss my parents, but it is what it is. We left for our honeymoon, and when we came back, I decided to start looking for jobs in a different city. I didn't want to lose my friends, but I just felt like I needed a clean break. I got a new job at a university in a bigger city, and we're currently in the process of moving. But maybe the biggest change, and also the most cliche change, is that I am pregnant. Oh. Was your sister still pregnant? What happened there? What happened to your sister's baby?
Don't ask.
It is a classic honeymoon baby. We haven't really told anyone now in fear of something happening, so you nice people of Reddit are the first ones to know. Besides, my husband and me. I'm so excited that I'm tearing up writing this. This was not something we planned for a few years, but we are ecstatic. I've only heard through people in town about the rest of my family. My sister's going around telling people that I was the reason brother-in-law broke up with her and that I was trying to dox her or some shit. She moved in with my parents and refuses to work. Nan told me the last time she saw my parents, they looked exhausted because my sister was behaving like a baby. Well, yeah, we kind of knew that, right? But maybe you needed stupid strangers on the internet to tell you that. I guess their parenting is catching up with them. I can only say that I'm really happy right now, and it hurts having lost family, but at the end of the day, cutting out toxic people is the best I could do. I now have a husband and a honeymoon baby on the way, my very own family. Oh, and a shiny new backbone. Congratulations, my dear, on the wedding, on the baby, on keeping your wedding venue and your dignity. And that shiny new backbone looks good on you. Subscribe!